The first thing I ever designed for 3D printing came purely out of necessity, and it was these caster covers for my wheelchair. They're constantly breaking and I was always having to get them replaced, so I made them out of a flexible TPU to put an end to that problem I was having. As you can see in this video, the part I'm replacing was taped on because it was always falling off, and you can see it's made of pretty brittle plastic. It's all broken up, scuffed all over the place. So my plan was to make a better piece that wouldn't break and then put it online for other people to download, and I have it on my site as well. If people don't have a 3D printer, they can buy it straight from my website. So let's go through the process I went through to make this part. So it's pretty easy. I just used Tinkercad. I had not used Fusion or Onshape or FreeCAD at any point by this time. So this is what the finished product looked like in CAD, and you can see the measurements right here in the top corner. Alright, so let's go ahead and delete this and we'll recreate it. So this first part is the outer ring, and it is 44.94 millimeters. Now let's increase the sides and segments just to make the part smoother. Now the inner diameter is 42 millimeters. So let's make that real quick. Then we'll line them up. Alright, so we got them lined up. Let's raise this inner circle 3 millimeters so this bottom part isn't hollow. Then we'll join them. Alright, so we got our first part. Just gotta adjust the height now. And the height for that is 6.32 millimeters. Now we'll move on to the inner circle. For the inner circle, we have 32.5 millimeters. All right, and let's turn up the sides and segments for that. Now, let's see, that will be 26.75 for this circle. All right, let's line these two up. It's okay if this one's hollow, because it's going to sit on top of this part. We just need to get the right height. And that height is 12.8 millimeters. Alright, now let's line these two up. Alright, nice and lined up. Join those. Now, take a look at our part. See how it looks? Looks pretty nice. Really simple. Move it around just to make sure it's all one part. Great. That was pretty simple, pretty easy. Alright, so let's move on to the next part. We'll move on to the legs. Now we need two of these. So we'll just drag out a square. So the legs are 19.3 millimeters long. And look at that, I can't type. And they are 7.68 millimeters wide. 5 millimeters tall. Alright. Now let's duplicate that, save us some time. Now there's a bridge between these legs, and that is 9 millimeters long and 4 millimeters wide. And it is 5 millimeters tall. Alright, so now let's get these legs in the right place. Just start lining them up. And using Tinkercad, it's not as precise as a real CAD program, so you're doing a lot of guessing. I didn't get this correct on the first print. I had to print it out quite a few times to get it to work, fit correctly. But that's just all part of the process, and you get better with that as time goes on. So alright, let's get these all together. First, let's center these two, and that makes centering the legs easy. Okay, got that. Now let's bring the legs right to the edge of the bridge. Now we turn up the radius a little on these just to make them not so square. They look a little nicer that way once they're printed. Alright, we'll zoom in a little bit. Look from the top. Alright, let's click these three. We got these three, and now we'll line them up to about the edge. Okay. Now back this out of the ring. There we are. Now let's check all our dimensions. This doesn't look right, so let's redo that. That's 5 millimeters. That needs to be 3 millimeters. Okay, that's better. Move it over a little. You can see a gap there. We'll just extend it. There we go. Now you can see that part of this legs are coming in to these rings, so we got to fix that real quick. Let's ungroup this. One more ungroup. Let's raise this up out of the way. And then now we'll make this all one group right here. Join together. Bring this back down to 0. Oops, don't want to do that. Make sure everything's lined up again. Just be safe. Yep, it's lined up. Now let's join it. Alright, one solid piece. And that's all it takes to make a part. It's that easy in Tinkercad. Just experiment and play around and you'll eventually get it. So that was the process I went through in Tinkercad. It was pretty simple shapes. It was a simple design. So if you thought that was interesting, thanks for watching. And if it could be useful for you, I got links down below. If you got a 3D printer, you can print one off for yourself. And I got a link to my website if you'd want to purchase one. And thanks again for watching. And see you next time. you.